Take it one step at a time, baby steps. You may not like the sound of that because I know you want to lose the weight and you want it gone yesterday. But think about it. How many times have you tried this over and over again? And how is that working for you? So it's time to change the mindset and realize that weight loss is not a sprint, it's a marathon. Hello there. Welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for being here today. I hope that your day is wonderful. And I just want to thank you so much for being here. I know that you're really busy, and I appreciate you taking the time to listen to this podcast and to be here with me today. So I am really excited about today's episode because I know that it is one that is going to resonate with a lot of you. Today we're going to be talking about the top 3 dieting mistakes you're making, why your diet keeps failing, and how to make your healthy routine stick forever. So I work with so many clients who have been dieting off and on for most of their life in a lot of cases, and they're so frustrated and they're so sick of it. I hear this over and over again. I've lost and gained the same 20 pounds over and over again for the past 10 years or whatever. And it's just so frustrating because you get a new diet, you're really excited about it, you're motivated, you're totally on board, you go for it, it's working, you're losing weight, you're feeling better, and then the diet is working until it's not. For some reason, the diet stops working. You start falling back into old habits. You start eating things that you have cut out for quite a while, and you end up gaining. And in many, many cases, you end up gaining all the weight back and sometimes plus a little bit more. And that's just so hard. There's so much shame and embarrassment involved because you're blaming yourself because you failed. And what I want to show you today is that it isn't you that failed. It's the diet that failed, because most diets are a setup for failure. 99% of diets fail eventually. Let me ask you this. If 99% of students in a class fail, whose fault is it? The students or the teacher? And it's the exact same thing with the dieting industry. It isn't you that have failed. It is the diet. Today, I want to show you how you can stop starting over and over again and losing and gaining over and over again. I'm going to share with you the top 3 dieting mistakes, and then we're going to talk about how to avoid those and how to make your healthy diet and lifestyle stick for the rest of your life. To begin with, the number one issue with most diets is they are extremely overwhelming. How many times have you started some kind of diet or fitness plan, bought a book, whatever, and you have all this information to digest? You have to learn all about what they want you to eat, what they don't want you to eat, how many calories, how many carbs, how many this or that. And it's so many changes to make all at once, and you almost don't even know where to start. And fitting it in to your busy day is just overwhelming, and it feels like your whole day is just revolving around food, around planning and shopping and cooking and counting and recording and all that work. And that is just not sustainable. If you have a super busy schedule and you want to add all this exercise and healthy eating on top of everything that you're already doing, you may be able to white knuckle it for a little while, but you end up exhausted. And that's one of the reasons that you start falling off of the diet plan. It's just too much to take in all at once, and it's just too overwhelming. And the solution, and the way that I teach my clients, is to take it one step at a time, baby steps. You may not like the sound of that because I know you want to lose the weight and you want it gone yesterday. But think about it. How many times have you tried this over and over again? And how is that working for you? So it's time to change the mindset and realize that weight loss is not a sprint, it's a marathon. So you start making these positive changes in small ways. And once you get that habit put into place and it becomes a regular part of your routine, you add on, you take the next step. And this makes it feel like you're not depriving yourself so much because it's not all or nothing. It's not like just one day you're on a diet and then the next day you're not on a diet. So we're going to avoid that black and white thinking and we're going to take it gradually. Start where you are, implement one positive thing, and then build on to that. Think about it. If you made a 1% improvement, if you made 1% positive change per week, that adds up to 52% change by the end of a year. And that adds up to a huge difference. But you have to take it slow because that's the only way that you're going to stick with it. When you start with something that's overwhelming and it's miserable, miserable is not sustainable. So keep that in your mind. If you're miserable, if it's exhausting you, if it is just overwhelming, you are not going to stick with it. So you start making a small change and your life and your schedule start to rearrange itself around that. And then you're ready to add on. The number 2 reason that most diets fail is that they are absolutely miserable. So think about it, what I just said. If it's miserable, it's not sustainable. So I coach my clients never to start any kind of health plan that you aren't willing to live forever. So if the food is yucky, you're not enjoying it, or if you're having to just drink shakes day after day after day, if you are cutting out huge food groups like all carbs, all sugar, that is not a way that you can live forever. You're just going to feel deprived. And think about it. If you wake up in the morning and you tell yourself, okay, I'm not eating any carbs all day today, you have that in your mind. No carbs, no carbs, no carbs. So you're focusing on exactly where you don't want to go. So you want to focus on where you do want to go. I had a yoga instructor one time who liked to tell stories while we were holding really difficult yoga poses. So right when we were in a plank or something, really difficult, she would tell us a story to kind of get our minds off of it. And she started telling a story about her son who was doing a defensive driving course. And the instructor said to him, if you see an obstacle up ahead on the road and you want to avoid it, don't look at the obstacle, look where you want to go instead. And so instead of focusing on what you can't have, on what you don't need to eat, on what you need to deprive yourself of, wake up every day and think about what you do need to add in. It's such a different mindset. It's such a different way of thinking from what we have been taught all these years. And it's moving you in a positive direction. It's helping you think about, what do I need to add in? What is going to nourish me today? What healthy habit can I do that's going to help me feel better? And it's not about being perfect. It's not about, I'm never going to have sugar again for the rest of my life, because that is not sustainable. That is miserable. So it's changing your focus to, where do you want to go? What are the things I want to focus on and move toward? and that will get you moving in the right direction. I like to focus on what I call the 80-20 rule. So 80% of the time, you're eating healthy, you are maintaining your healthy habits, and 20% of the time is reserved for indulgences. So if you are going to a birthday party, you're going to have some cake and ice cream. If you're on vacation, you're definitely going to have a few extra cocktails or whatever that may be. But 80% of the time, you're following your healthy habits. And that's a really good balance. And that is a way of realizing that, okay, this is a lifestyle that I can live forever because I'm feeling good, I'm healthy, I'm nourishing myself, but I'm also not depriving myself. I'm not feeling like I can never have these things again that I enjoy. The number 3 reason that most diets end up failing is a biggie. And this is because they often neglect the mindset and emotional component, which is key to making healthy habits stick, because you have to get to the root of the issue. Why are you in the place that you are today? Because if you don't work that out, you're going to continue this cycle and this pattern that you have been stuck in for so long. So you have to think about, are you stress eating? Are you eating when your schedule is busy and you're eating to calm yourself down? Are you emotional eating? What is going on? Are you going for a snack late at night after you've had dinner every night? And why is that? What are you actually needing to be filled up with? What is this void that you're trying to fill? Are you feeling lonely? Are you feeling sad? Is there emotional issues that you have been neglecting that are trying to come up, but they don't feel good and they're uncomfortable, so you're pushing them back down with food? And what is that inner critic saying to you day in and day out? That voice in your head that criticizes and berates you and puts you down. What is that voice saying, and where did that voice come from? Because as long as you still have that talking to you, you're going to revert to old patterns. It's not motivating. It's not encouraging. It's not going to help you move forward. It's going to help you move backward. So I like to think of it this way. Overeating and being overweight isn't the actual problem. It's a symptom of the problem. So if you're overweight, if you're overeating, what is the actual problem? And sometimes you have to kind of reverse engineer. You have to take a little bit of a deep dive, and you have to stop in the moment and think about, why am I eating? What am I looking for? And that's one of the things that I work with my clients on extensively, because that is one of the things that's going to make your diet actually work and your healthy lifestyle actually stick. And it's working through some of these deeper issues, some of these patterns, so that you can get rid of it and not see that happening anymore in your life, and moving forward and feeling good and feeling confident and shutting up that incessant voice in your head that's always telling you that you're not good enough, that you're not enough, that you're not thin enough, you're not smart enough, you're not working hard enough, you're not a good enough mom, you're not doing a good enough job at work. We have to silence that voice so that we can start moving forward and feeling better. So just a quick review of what we've talked about today. Reasons that your diet's not working, that you're stopping and starting and losing and gaining over and over again. Number 1, it's too overwhelming. It's miserable and it's not sustainable. And instead of trying to make all these huge changes at once, you want to take it one little step at a time. Number 2, it's miserable. Like I just said, miserable is not sustainable. If the food is gross, if you're eating frozen dinners, if you're drinking shakes and eating, cardboard protein bars, that is not sustainable. So you need to find a way of nourishing yourself that feels good, that feels positive, and focusing on what you do need instead of what you don't need, and following the 80-20 rule. And number 3 is addressing those mindset components, finding out what the root cause of these unhealthy patterns is so that you can move forward and be healthy and happy and confident and strong and have joy and know that you're enough and that you're worth it. Thank you so, so much. I have really enjoyed our conversation today. I hope you have too, and I can't wait to see you again soon.